Today, we're swimming with penguins, so stick around. Hello, colorists. Welcome to PencilStash, a weekly show all about coloring. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to get all the new content, and be sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying my videos. Hello there. Happy 2018, everyone. This is the first video of the new year, and I'll get all into the whys, yes, there are a few of them, in just a bit. But in short, I'm very happy to be back, and as promised, we will be doing a page from Imagimorphia, illustrated by Kerby Rosanes. And the page that I've decided on is this underwater page depicting some awesome diving penguins. And because this is such a huge spread, and I want to keep as much of the tutorial in real time as possible, we'll be breaking this page up into a few videos. And today we'll be focusing on just the penguins. So let's get into it. Now the first thing I want to do is decide where my light source is going to be. And in an underwater scene, that light source is almost always from the surface above. So we'll be creating a nice little highlight across the backs of our penguins as we go. And I'll be using all of my warm grays in the Prismacolor range, as well as my black pencil. Starting with 50% warm gray, I'm going to create a very loose shape of the highlight that I want. And you won't see me do this later or every time. I'm just kind of using it now just to demonstrate for you guys, just so that you can kind of see my thought process as we go. So again, I just kind of create that loose shape of this highlight, and then I fill in the space around it with this mid-tone gray. And you'll see that as we go, I'll be creating a gradient effect from my lightest warm gray all the way down to the black. And I'm also going to add a little highlight with this color along the back side of the penguin's flippers. Then I'll go back inside that highlight space that we created with our 10% warm gray, which is the lightest in the range. Now I'm going to jump to the darkest gray in our range, the 90% warm gray. And I'll fill in the rest of the penguin with this color. It doesn't have to be perfect, as we will be layering on one more color in just a moment. Now in with my black, and I'm going right over top of the areas that I just put down the 90% warm gray. And this creates a great layered effect and adds dimension with the multiple colors. Now I like to do this over just 2 passes with my black. I don't know why, I just do. I just find that the finished product looks much richer. don't forget this flipper too. Now we'll go back in with the warm gray 50% that we used earlier to bridge the gap between all of these colors, just to kind of go back in and work on finalizing these transitions. And again, use very, very light pressure as we go through these areas between the colors. Maybe even put a very light layer of this color right over that lightest highlight area too, just to darken it up just a tad. Now, the penguins that I looked up have these cute little yellow areas on their necks, so I'll put that in now. I thought it'd be really fun to add a nice little pop of color to these guys that are traditionally just black and white. And I used Google to image search penguins for inspiration, so always remember that that's a great resource open to you. Now for the belly, which would be shadowed, I'm not going to leave it plain white. I'm going to add just a light layer of 10% warm gray. Now we'll bring it all together with our blending pencil. Now to keep our lights light, I suggest you start in the highlight area and use circular or orbital strokes with your blender to push the light colors towards the dark instead of the other way around, as we don't want to muddy up our highlight area. All right, so now I'm going to speed up the video to show you the rest of these guys while we chat for just a bit. Then I'll recap by doing another penguin with you in real time later on, as there's just a few things that I want to mention, and I think that this is a good opportunity to do that. First, I want to apologize for the delay in uploading a video last week. I got hit with a double whammy. The first whammy was that I dropped my external hard drive. Now, this is the hard drive that all my PencilStash video footage and files and pictures and pretty much everything that I use to create a video for you guys, I dropped it from the dangerous height of about 6 inches off the floor. And it just destroyed it. Everything was gone off of it. So very disappointed. I've had to recreate the wheel a little bit, reinvent my intro, my color titles, all that good stuff. So it set me back a bit, but it could ultimately end up being a blessing in disguise. So all good. My second whammy was the flu. So Anthony got the flu and was absolutely out for the count for days. I mean, days. So when I didn't get it, I was thrilled. I thought I dodged a bullet. Not so much. It ended up hitting me, and it hit me hard. And I pretty much slept for about 24 hours straight. I'm all better now, so back at it and ready to create videos for you guys. Oh, and you may have also noticed that I'm leaving up the colored pencil title that I'm using on the screen the whole time that I'm using it. Recently, I got some feedback from some folks that they wanted to see it the whole time, so that's what I'll be doing, and I certainly hope that it helps. And I'm about to hit 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is just incredible to me. It's just mind-boggling. I've said this before, but I never thought people would ever want to watch me color. So I'm just so humbled and excited for what the future holds for PencilStash. Thank you guys again so much. 10,000 subscribers is a huge milestone. And if you want to get even more out of the PencilStash channel, don't forget that we have a Facebook group dedicated to sharing our awesome coloring pages with one another. It's called PencilStash Adult Coloring Group, and we'd love to have you join us. All right, that is enough of me yapping. Let's do another penguin together just to recap. This time I'm going to start with warm gray 20%, which will be the lightest that I'll be using on this penguin, since he's a bit further down in the water away from our light source. And I'll use this one to create that highlight shape that I want across his back. Now I'll switch to warm gray 30% and just build those layers of gradient around our highlight shape. Don't forget the little highlight on his flippers too. Now in with 50% warm gray, adding again another layer to our gradient. Make sure you're using very light pressure through all of these steps and that you're feathering the color you're using into the one you used before or the one adjacent. Meaning don't only go right up to that color, but bring your pencil into it as well. It will create a smoother transition and eliminate what would have otherwise been a harsh line between those two colors. One more layer to our gradient with our 70% warm gray. And now we'll color the rest of him with warm gray 90%. And again, don't worry about it being perfect because we're going to go in with our black very shortly. All right, now we're going to cover that penguin with black. And you'll see that I'm not only covering the areas that I previously colored with the 90% warm gray, I'm going up even a little bit further than that into just a few areas and with very light pressure that I want to read just a bit darker. This will create a great dimensional, kind of rich, slick, wet coat that the penguins have. Now I'm just going to go back in with my warm gray 30% over the highlight areas real quick, just to put the finishing touches on those transition areas. And back in with the black for just a bit of cleanup as well. And finally, over the whole thing with our blender, starting again at the highlight spot and working your way outward. Using those circular strokes will keep the transitions nice and clean. And finish it off with the little pops of yellow on their neck. And that is it. The penguins are done. There's a lot more of them on this page than I originally saw, but it's really fun to do these guys, and I really like how they turned out. I can't wait to get started on the next section to share with you guys, which will be the background water. So stay tuned for that in the next video. Thanks again so much for watching today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It helps new folks find my channel and also lets me know that you are enjoying the content. Take care, guys. I will see you next time.